Dublin high school kid.
Even the most successful bands, but the great ones return better than ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, now last week when they asked me...
Put on them... It was the 70s all over again, when Fleetwood Mac returned with a live album and sold-out reunion tour in 1997.
It was great, because you didn't know what to expect. Nobody did. And it was really magic on stage. I know I could have loved you, but you would not let me.
It's a celebration. Yeah, the Mac is back to do what they do really well. You know, is to get up on stage and play.
The tumultuous history of Fleetwood Mac began some 30 years earlier, in the late 60s, when Mick Fleetwood and John McVie formed the psychedelic hard blues band in Britain. Fleetwood Mac changed their sound in the 70s, adding Christine McVie, John's wife, and the songwriting duo of Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, who were also romantically involved.
You had Lindsey Buckingham, the intense guitarist. You had Stevie Nicks, the witchy singer-songwriter. So everyone in that band really had their own gift, and it just was a total package.
The group's self-titled debut album put them on the map, producing the hits Say You Love Me and Rhiannon.
Something in me said, you're going to be very famous. This whole band is going to be very, very famous.
Fleetwood Mac exploded with 1977's Rumors, which spent an incredible 31 weeks at #1 and became one of the best-selling albums of all time.
You go from being a pretty normal person with a pretty below normal income to totally rich and famous overnight. Wait a minute, baby. Stay with me a while.
Fleetwood Mac were already paying a price for rock and roll glory. During the recording of Rumors, John and Christine's marriage broke up, as did the romance between Lindsey and Stevie.
It was a very complex situation, you know, two couples breaking up, and yet having to play the handout on a professional level.
As tension mounted, the band's drug and alcohol habits began to spin out of control.
The reality was, and the truth of the matter was, that there was lots of alcohol and there was a pretty damn fair chunk of drugs flying around.
People did the drugs because it was fun. It was one big, outrageous, morning till night party every day for years.
Personal conflicts and addictions continued to dog Fleetwood Mac, and in 1987, Lindsey Buckingham announced he would not be joining the group on their next tour.
There was just too much craziness, there were too many substances, there was really too much inability to create on the level that we were capable of creating.
Fleetwood Mac continued on, but it wasn't the same without Lindsey.
I mean, the very thought of one band member leaving was catastrophic to us, because we all felt that each one of us was irreplaceable.
For the next decade, the members of Fleetwood Mac stayed busy with solo careers, and the group kept touring with a revamped lineup. Lindsey rejoined Fleetwood Mac for a performance at President Clinton's 1993 inauguration, but the band didn't seriously consider a full-fledged reunion until a few years later.
Lindsey and I had a very brief discussion. I remember it. It was acknowledgement that we knew at some point it would probably happen.
One thing led to another, and suddenly we all were in the control room of the studio saying, gee, this feels pretty good. Isn't that weird? So it just kind of fell into place on its own.
Well, I've been afraid of changing.
The classic Fleetwood Mac lineup returned to the stage in 1997 with a televised concert and mammoth tour.
Well, maybe the landslide.
This is not like revitalizing the oldies. This is really, for as long as this moment lasts, it's very vibrant and very real.
It doesn't feel like a resurrection. It's more like, let's do it again, plus.
The Dance, their first album together.
It's always been a group of chemistry.